Okay, just getting set up here. I'm in beautiful Birds, Treetop Treasures again. So there's some extra light. It's not dark out, but it's getting dusk. So we are back with these lovely hummingbirds. Have to show you tonight, this morning for y'all. We're going to be doing this guy right here. Look at that bright bird. Okay, this is actually a bee hummingbird, and it's this one right over here. So if you've missed any of these in our series, I encourage you to go on back and just go to my channel, pick up anything that you've missed. We are going to keep working right along. There we go. I found out that worked rather well last time, so we're going to do it again. How big can I go? Oh, I can go bigger though. Bigger or keep the picture on? I'm thinking right there. How's that? So, yeah, so this is a bee hummingbird. And do you see how it compares in size to the hummingbird that we're used to? It's the one that was over. So they're really tiny. So if you go look it up, they're really a tiny bird. So I have pulled several blues. I have, let's see, I will just make a note of all of these real quick. 903, that is true blue. And then we have two other blues that are close to the same. 906, which is Copenhagen blue. And then we have 1101, which is denim blue, and it's just a little bit darker. It's just going to lend a little variety if we find we need it. All right, blue indigo, and I have one of these pencils on order. I'm due to get pencils soon, so what I'm going to do is I am going to be sure and share that link with you. One of the ladies over on Coloring Books, Keep It Clean, shared that with me, and it's a place where you can get individual Prismacolor pencils for like a lot less than what they're charging at the craft stores. And like I've got, I think 28 pencils coming, and the shipping's only $5.55. And they're from somewhere further north than me, so it's not even real close. So I was excited about that. Okay, this is 30% cool gray, and it's 1061. Is that right? Yeah, 1061. And then we're going to have the next gray, which is a 50%. So I skipped the 30. Nope, that was 30, the first one. So I went from 30 to 50. So this one is 1063. And then next, we're going to go to the 70%, which is 1065. Okay. And then I also pulled black, which is 935. I did not pull white. I should have, but I failed to. Yep, that's not white over there. So anyway, hopefully I won't need it. Hopefully this light gray will do. So what I'm going to start with is the lightest of the blues. And if we see through here, now this is his back. You might think, well, no, it looks like his front because there's his head turned sideways and his wings coming down. It's actually his back because see the tail? You don't see his feet right there, so that's the back. Okay, now as we look in the picture, it is really just a mix of all these wonderful blues. So I'm going to start with the 903, and I'm going to come through and do this bottom section. And again, my pencils are not necessarily the colors you'll use if you're following along. I know a few of you are following along. You've messaged me or reached out or put in the comments. So, yeah, I'm glad. So this is just a lighter but still brighter shade of blue. So I'm just going to come through here and get this done. Did it mess you up too much with the last bird being a part 1 and part 2? Yeah, I wasn't sure about that, but I went ahead and left it be 2 parts just because they were both so long. Just coming on up. Yeah, I'm part of a decluttering group, and that's why that video got thrown in on just how I organized my closet, because some of the people over there had asked different things about closet organization, and I thought, I'm just going to go ahead and do a video. So thank you for wading through that with them. You never know what you're going to get with me. Now, you can see, I mean, there's some light here and here, some here, and it's just how much and where. So what I'm going to do, okay, this is going to be a bad pun and I didn't mean it, but I'm going to wing it. Yeah, wing, haha. So I am going to go ahead and use this lighter shade, because it is the only shade I'm using that's this light. And I don't want this to be just a solid blue all over bird. Okay, now we know this is going to be the grays, because here, and then this is going to be the blues, but those grays will also be up here some. Okay, so I'm not going to come do any of the light blue up there. Actually, I said I won't. No, I'm not going to. I'm just going to keep working it the way I was working it. Just do some of these tips just so that we have a little bit of variety and it doesn't look like one solid mass. Now, if you have some nice metallics, this would be a good place to use them in some of these little areas, because it almost looks like a metallic-y look there. And I think that's all I'm going to use this for. So I'm going to lay that to the side and we'll go to the next pencil. So we're going to continue on over to 906. 906 and 1101 are both going to be fairly dark. So this is 1101. I'm really bearing down just to see. And this is 906. So the 906 is just a little bit lighter than the 1101. So I'm going to start with 906. Okay? So that 906, the Copenhagen blue. Now, when I get my new pencils in, I may go ahead and share with you what I got, because I have like the 132 set. I don't have the 150. So I'm really anxious to see what is going to come in and how they're going to differ. Like, I don't have any of the neon colors. That I can tell you right now. I know that's going to be really different. But I've ordered all the pencils that are in the 150 that are not in the 132s. So I may share that little bit with y'all. You're going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, how is it if I don't do both sides in the interest of making this one video? Okay, and then here I am going to do the tail feathers coming up. And again, mine's a little darker. That's one thing I'm hoping, is that when those new pencils come in, I find out that I've got some different blues, some brighter blues maybe that are still deep but brighter. Okay, so then this one's going to come in. See, I'm going to go right up under there, and by going under that line, it's going to give the appearance that that is tucked up underneath. Same thing here, tuck that up underneath. And you saw I left a little bit there and there. That's because that's where I'm going to come back in with the next shade. And I gave you, I think it was 4 shades of blue, but we may or may not use them all. Okay. But again, going dark beside the line, whatever side you go on, it's going to make that area look more like it's tucked up underneath. Okay? So we did that. Now this is where I'm going to go ahead and continue up some here. I'll do it on both sides. This I do want a little bit darker because it's going to connect up here and go around the top of his head. So I'll use this here, here, and then I'm changing over to the darker shade here. Whoops, I should get right in there. And now we're going to see if this next shade, this the 90 or the 1101, see if it's any darker or if I actually need to change to the darker pencil. Okay, yeah, that is. So as you come to the next color, just get a lighter pressure so that that will blend in. Where you cross over into the first color, or the last color that we used rather, that's where you want a little bit lighter pressure so that those colors will blend. Up in all these V's. Up in all these little areas. I'm going to go ahead and do that too. There we go. I'm not worried about full coverage right now because I am going to come back in with the lightest color and I'm going to blend everything. So that's why you don't see me getting real picky about having full coverage. Just not worried about it. Right up next to that line. And when I come back in with that next color, it's also going to, excuse me, collect my thoughts there. It's also going to change all this a little bit. Remember when we layer different colors, they become lighter. So I'm going to go ahead and do these. And then I'm going to do the bottoms of all these little bitty pieces. But I'm only going to go to about, I think about here. And then I'll switch over to gray. Because the front of this little guy's face is in grays. Okay, now I'm going to come back with the 901, the blue indigo, and do all these little V's. Just get that tucked right up in there. And it's a molted looking colored bird. So don't worry if you're not having, I'm even going to just lightly, very lightly go ahead and do that. Yeah, don't worry that it looks a little choppy, I guess is a good way to put it. Now this is our lightest gray. This is that number 1061. So what I'm going to do here, and his beak does look kind of blue. So let me pick up that indigo real quick and put some of that right here on the bottom of this beak. Then I'm going to sharpen this pencil real quick, this gray, and I'm going to use it while it's got a good point on it and come across the top of this beak. And then blend into that bottom. Okay? And now here you see it's darker around at the area here and lighter in the front. So I'm going to go lighter through here. This is that first shade. Then I'm going to go up to the next percent, which was number 1063. This is the 50% cool gray. And I'm going to come in with the next color. I'm going to go right under that beak. Now mine's not going to look as choppy as what the real one does. Okay, I'm doing it in little sections here. Then the darkest one is over here. I'm going to come up under. And then I'm going to go ahead and leave that white. Then I'm going to come in, because a lot of this is dark. I'm doing some dark right over that so that it just goes from gray to the blue. Okay, now I'm going to come in with that black. I'm going to do the eye. Remember, if you want the sparkle in the eye, leave a little spot, color that eye in. If the spot disappears, come back with a pen, gel pen or something, and just put that dot in there. Now, I am going to make this a little choppier in here. I'm using the black. Do you see how I'm just making the little lines? And it's just kind of down in where those V's were. And it's just helping to blend this gray in with these blues and to make it a little messier look. Okay? Then we're going to come down here and look at this again. First, I'm going to stand up and see how we are on time. We are good. So that means I can come over here, and I believe 906, was it 906? Yeah, I think earlier Yeah, 906. So I'm going to come in here with this 906 and go ahead and do these. That was my second shade, I believe. Yeah, if you're watching first and if I've just messed up, you'll be able to go back in and do it right. And then the tip there. And then on these, I did the edges. And then I'll come back in with the other one, the next blue. Again, I'm keeping it really loose, y'all. I mean, you can tell how far back I'm holding my pencil. I'm not down here on it. I am further back. I'm really just trying not to be real precise, which I know is really different for me. But this guy really looks choppy and fluffy and such. Okay, I'm going to come in with the 1101, the denim blue, and I'm going to come right up next to that line. Right up next to it so it looks like it's tucked down underneath there. Up in here a little. Any little areas that you want to look like they're up underneath, get up in there and add some of that dark. It's not going to hurt it. You're just going to make more depth to your picture. And if it's not dark enough, I can come in with black. Yeah, normally I would come in with like a brown because black is awfully harsh. But because we're using blue, that's why I've picked black. Okay, y'all ready for the next part? Okay, I am going to come in with this indigo and go right up in there. Do you see how I really put a lot of pressure on there? I really outlined that. But now it made this tail feather pop up some. Okay, then I'm going to put it down through here, down through here. I'm going to do some here. Just really going to emphasize some of this. See, because I'm still going to blend it all, remember? So, again, sometimes it may be better to watch and then go back and re-watch it as you color along. That way you'll know, ooh, I don't like what she did, or yeah, I'm glad she did that. I'm going to actually put some lines coming down through there. Just makes it all not look so flat. Okay, you ready? I am going to come in with the lightest blue that I used and just start blending. See how the whole thing's brightening up a little? But because I put so much dark over here, this tail feather looks like it's behind here. This looks like it's tucked up underneath. That's what we're wanting. Okay, I need to move my phone out of the way. Okay, so this, I'm quite literally just blending each section. And again, if I get another blue in the mail, and by all means, if you have a blue that's like a brighter blue that's going to do good, use it. This won't be finished until I just actually quit working on it. So if I get something, another blue that I like better, I can still come back over like I am with this color, go over it one more time, and it's going to change the look of it. Because each time you add color, you're changing the look ever so slightly or a lot. It just depends on what you do with it. And this bird to me does look a little messier than some of the others. And maybe it's because he's so tiny. I don't know. Does the wind whip through his feathers more? No idea. But it is a lot of blue, and I am glad that we did change shades of blue as much as we did, because now it's not one blue mass. There's different lights and darks. Okay, so, and there's other colors of this bee hummingbird out there. There's some that have reds in them, but I'd already done a few reds on the page, and I knew we were going to do the red-throated hummingbird next, so I really just didn't want to go there. So that's why I picked a blue one. So I did think about it, yeah. So now, really being purposeful in where I'm coloring, trying to do some blending there. And now I'm up in here, and when I get to where the colors are mixed more, I'm just going to kind of hit at it. Okay, just keeping it choppy up top. Okay, and that's really all there is to that one. I will probably sit and do a little bit more blending on it, and like I said, when my other pencils come in, I'll see what colors. But that is the bee hummingbird. So now next we have the two red-throated hummingbirds. So I'm not sure which one I'll do, but I will do one of them. Okay, so I will see you in a few days. Let me know what you're going to want to see after this. The challenge for September for Coloring Books Keep It Clean is going to be a picture that uses colors that are opposite on the color wheel. Okay, now this is for September, so I'm really giving you a head start. So the color wheel. So the colors I picked on the one I am working on is this orange red, yeah, orange red, and then the green blue or blue green. Okay, but any two colors that are crossed from each other on the color wheel, just make sure that the bulk of your picture, or at least half of it, is with any two colors. That's September's challenge for Coloring Books Keep It Clean. So you got the inside scoop on that one. Yeah. So go ahead and start looking through your pictures. And I will see you in a few days. And we will finish up with the last of the birds. Okay? All right. Thanks for stopping by.